some movie fun watch action time. So I am always intrigued to see like what watches are in movies. I think a lot of us are because we'll go on a random search on the internet sometimes and you'll try to figure out who's wearing what in what movie because now that we're all watch nuts when we're watching a movie, you'll see a watch and sometimes my wife gets on me about this. You'll not even really be paying attention to the scene or the plot at the particular moment, and you're so focused on trying to figure out what's on the guy's wrist or on the person's wrist that's in the scene. So this is kind of fun. So here is a screenshot from Mission Impossible. I don't remember which mission it is, but the 1996 version. There's the watch that Tom Cruise wears, and here it is. You can see it pretty good there, right? So they got it figured out. It's the dw-290, which is just crazy because we've seen G-Shocks in movies before, but this is just insanely cheap. I'm pretty sure I only paid like $14 or $15 for this. And so I wanted to get it in, partly because it was in that movie, but also because it can be kind of compared to the standard G-Shock square, 5600, 5610s, all those. It is a little bit different shape. It's a little bit bigger. Has a very similar module, and it has similar functions. So here would be like its, next rival once you jump to the G-Shock. So these are like $40. This is the DW5600E or something like that. I'm not super good with all the part numbers. And this is the DW290. So it's obviously larger. The bands are similar feel, different design, but the quality on the cheap G-Shock versus the DW290, the bands are going to feel about the same. This one will actually lay flat though, whereas the G-Shock squares won't. The packaging is the super simple packaging. There's the part number. This was an Amazon buy. I haven't really actually seen these in the box stores or whatever. So module 3231. I'm still learning all the modules on a lot of the Casios, so I'll get more familiar with them as I'm kind of obsessed right now with all the G-Shocks for some reason. I don't know why. I'm going into like a little collecting phase. So, and I'm really after all these square ones. So this one kind of fell in that same genre, if you will. So I felt like I needed to have it. It has a nice light, and then it has all the other mode functions. The alarms, the timer. I think it has a countdown timer and a track timer, and then back to the date, and time. So it's basically what we're used to when you're dealing with these other G-Shock squares. It's almost the same exact thing. The lights. I'd have to dim it down in here. I'll dim it down. Let's take a quick look at it. So there, you can kind of see the light. You know what? Let's take it down even more, because then we'll kind of compare it. Let's compare it to, where's the light at? The light's on the top left on this one, I think, or top right, isn't it? No, it's the bottom. It's the same. Almost looks like a little bit. The true square is almost like a more of a green tinge to it, whereas they're real similar, but the DW290 almost looks like it has a little bit more of a cool blue hue to it. So let's talk about the sizing real quick, because it is a larger watch, and with the standard 5600, you're looking at a 43.5 millimeter approximately. This one's going to be a little bit funky because it has a weird case shape. So let's try to capture. We can go all the way to the widest part. Let's capture that real quick. You're looking at like 46.5. So if you come down to where it starts to slope up toward the top, so this part up here is actually closer to the width of a standard 5600. So they add this flare into the case, and that makes it feel a little bit bigger. The other real important thing is going to be the thickness. It's only like 13.7. So if you look at a standard square, it's definitely thinner. So you're looking at overall a larger case size, similar module, similar light, similar band, but this is only like $14. So how about if I throw it on my 7 1/4 wrist real quick, so you guys can get a look at that. And I have not really worn this outside of, I can say that it does not feel as comfortable. And I think that's partly, how I showed you how it will lay flat. So it doesn't have that like almost preset or predetermined natural curve off the case with the band. It's still comfortable because it is light. I don't have a scale down here, but I'm gonna like just kind of get a feel for it. And they're super close to the same weight. So grams, I'm guessing these are really close to the same weight overall. But because the way the 5600 case and band, the way it comes onto the band, these are just so much more comfortable. They instantly contour to your wrist. So I think this, just kind of falls off. You know what I'm saying? And then just, so I think with time, maybe you could get it to break in and it would become more comfortable. But if you're looking for a cheap watch to, do some of the functions that it has, I really don't think you're going to come up with this style of watch with these functions for $14. Like, this is probably going to be your best option. Plus you have the cool factor that it was, Tom Cruise wore it in Mission Impossible movie. So, cool actor, cool movie, and cool cheap watch. Like, it has some story that goes along with it too. So it's not just you're trying to wear a cheap watch. It's actually kind of cool. So there's a quick look at the dw-290. Another thing, and this is how I originally got into these G-Shock squares, is because I would buy these really cheap, and I would throw it like in my work van or in my glove box in my car or something like that. So if for some reason I was going to get into some sort of activity that I didn't want to wear my nicer watch in, that I could throw this watch on, or say I forgot to wear my watch that day, which has never happened to me. But whatever the scenario is, I always had that spare watch. So that's what initially got me into these G-Shocks. But I know for some people, even spending $40 or $50 on a watch that you're really not going to wear hardly ever, is just kind of silly. If you have like activities that you're going to wear it in, then it's 100% justifiable. But having like a $14 or $15 option, it's almost just silly not to just buy it and have it sitting around somewhere. I'm sure the battery in it lasts probably 10 years. I don't know. I've only owned it like a few days, so I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments on this guy. Just a fun option, If we can't have fun playing with these watches, then maybe you need to find a different hobby. So let's have some fun and play around with some digitals too. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.